It has begun!
Today I'd like to talk about humanity. Not the peoples of the earth, but your humanity. What makes you human? What in your life have you heard people refer to as, well, that's just part of being human, or that's what makes you human, or comments of that magnitude, that nature? Well, after much experience, observation, introspection, and analysis, I've come to find that what we define as that which makes us human, in fact, is the opposite of our own humanity. No, this is not some coy paradox where white can't exist without black. No, quite literally, we have taken everything that makes us inhuman and labeled it as something that makes us human. But to understand that, I guess we need to define what is human. And to do that, we have to define what we are as individuals. We are a quantum singularity of consciousness inhabiting a physical body. That physical body is the interface with this reality. This reality only exists because the body perceives that it does. Your consciousness, your soul, your essence inhabits the body, gives it life. But that essence exists with or without the body. Now, that essence being without mass, without time, is infinite and nigh indestructible, therefore making it a kind of divinity, if you will. The human body made of matter is subject to entropy, like all matter. Decay into energy. And for that, the human body is mortal. The human body has needs that must be met to maintain its standard of function. The human body needs sleep. It needs food. After it feeds, it needs to excrete. It needs to reproduce, so there are more bodies for more souls to inhabit, to fuck around on this plane of existence for a little while. The meat suit that you use is really very, how should we say, disposable. And sexuality is not that profound. It is simply a biological urge programmed in our DNA to keep us producing more meat suits so souls throughout existence can keep coming and going from this reality for the foreseeable future, so they can, jump in a meat suit and see what this is all about. Almost like a multi-layered virtual reality, if you will. So there is a clear delineation between our consciousness and our body. So what makes us human? Does our need to feed and go to the bathroom make us human? No. Single-cell organisms do that. Dogs, cats. Does the body and its urges alone make us human? Well, let me explain, too, that any emotion, any instinct, any extrasensory perception you may have only exist because they are the body's response to external stimuli, seen and unseen. So every urge, every instinct, every emotion even, is because of the body. So what if all that you think you are exists in the body? What makes you human? Are you just innately human because is the state of being human being a soul in a body? Well, I would argue against that, because at some point in your life, either you've made the argument or you've heard the argument pointing out that someone is more humane or humanitarian than someone else. Someone is a better human being than someone else. So someone is better at being human? In what way? If the possession of of a body is all we need to be considered human, then the health and vitality of that body would define our humanity, would it not? And unfortunately, so many of you actually do judge someone's character, someone's humanity, on the comfort it brings your carnal instincts. Yes. When your meat suit is at ease around someone because of subconscious stimuli, you deem them more humanitarian. When your meat suit is not at ease instinctually around someone, you deem them less humanitarian. They may be doing the exact same thing. Like a military action. If you are instinctually, carnally, or otherwise, your body's instinct is to be at ease in this person's presence, the fact that they call the assassination of someone, you go, hey, that's okay, they're a good person, they're doing it for the right reasons. But if you feel a little uneasy around the person and you don't know why, they may be doing the exact same thing for the exact same reasons, but you deem them a monster. You see, you people that do this, you have decided that the animal instinct to be drawn to the healthiest, most vital human being in the room deems that person the most humanitarian, no matter how cutthroat, sadistic, evil, and vile they are. You have literally defined the value of being human by the value of the beast. You have discarded the relevance of the consciousness in the meat suit. You have discarded the higher presence inside that meat suit. You have defined the value and grace of a human being by how thoroughly they satisfy your animal instincts. Do you understand why 666 is the mark of the beast? Do you understand what the mark of the beast is? If you did, you would not define goodness by how your animal cells react to something. You see, your body is not what makes you human. What makes you human is not the urges, the emotions, the instincts, the feelings. That's just a fabrication created by your meat suit to ensure that healthy meat is reproduced and secured. If that is all you live for, you are no better than a hyena, no better than a gopher, no better than a single-celled organism. What makes you human is the consciousness inside. The consciousness that becomes self-aware, aware that it's in a body, aware of what goes on in that body, aware of that body's presence in the reality around it, aware of how the reality around it reacts to it. You're not human because you have to eat and shit. You are human because when you're starving, you wait until you can properly pay for food instead of ripping it out of someone's hands. You're not human because you have to take a shit. You're human because you acknowledge you have to. You clench up. You find an appropriate space to deal with the situation and handle it appropriately. What makes you human is not your urges, not your desires, not your instincts, not your thoughts, not your emotions, but how you consciously acknowledge them, their relationship to the world around you and yourself, and how you choose to manage them. And those of you that lack the more defined acumen to pull this off are much closer to the animal than you are to being human. And I see so many of you throughout my life so many people, because of the socioeconomic caliber of individuals I've had to live around my whole life. You not only lack certain aspects of higher humanity, you spend your life looking for ways to devolve, to strip yourself of what humanity you have. And the most basic form of that humanity that you try to relinquish all day, every day, spending your lives trying to do so, is remorse, regret, concern for others. You literally live your lives striving to extract what little humanity you have left so that you can live as rabid forces of animal-like destruction with no remorse. You are the low IQ people. The lower the IQ, the more you fit this bill, the more fervently you live this life. You see, your humanity is not that you have feelings and urges and thoughts and wants. The desire to procreate does not make you human. It is not a human right. The desire to procreate is just an animal urge, like taking a shit or needing to eat. And it is your job to exercise your higher being to properly assess your place in the world, properly assess the impact your procreation will have on your reality and the reality of the people around you. Your humanity is dictated by your ability to consciously, responsibly manage your animal bodily urges, instincts, and inclinations.
Is it over?